Good evening, everyone. I'm so happy to be here and seeing all of your beautiful faces. Just want to tell a little story about myself. Although I'm 5'2", I'm standing tall in my story. I grew up in the Motor City. Hey, Chrysler, Ford, GM, Motown, Stevie Wonder, Diana Ross, and we can't forget about the Jackson 5. Detroit. Yes, Detroit. And I don't know if we have any football fans out here, but most notably, home to the Detroit Lions, who, yes, who almost made it to the Super Bowl. And if you know anything about the Lions, you know that's a hell of a resilient story. But anyway, Detroit is a city rich in culture, diversity. It's very hard to describe, and especially if you haven't been there and you're not from there, you may have seen what the media portrays it to be. But it's a wonderful place to have been born and raised in, and that's where I'm from. And growing up in middle-class Detroit was fun. It was music, it was laughter, it was obstacles, challenges. You had to have some street smarts for sure, to say the least. But what such a beautiful experience. And I got to experience it all. I grew up with my parents and my younger sister, and it was a family of love, laughter, do's, don'ts. I had a traditional dad who was the provider and the protector, and no boys better come over, and nobody better ride on the edge of that grass that he just edged up. So that was him. But then I had my mom, who I was very petite and soft-spoken, and she really was concerned that I could be a victim or bully or anything. So she really poured into me, girl, you better stand up for yourself. Don't let nobody push you around. And I internalized that. And through that, I found my voice, and it was great. I navigated through life. And Rebecca asked me, what was the 14-year-old you like? And it was fond memories, because I immediately thought of me and my bestie, and thank God cell phones weren't out, because we would have been like this all the time, duck lips and the whole nine. But we dressed alike all the time, and we loved to dance, we loved music, we liked boys. I mean, we just innocent fun, and that's what I reflected on. But I still went back to my mom and those fundamental things that she taught me about being aware of your surroundings. Although in my community, I was loved and known, but Detroit is a big city. And, it's gritty. Everything isn't pretty and beautiful, as you can imagine. But I learned how to navigate all of that at an early age and just always applied it in life. And fast forward from my 14-year-old days dressing alike, me, my sister, and our really good friend, we were going to this party, and you all know me by now, so we had spent a ton of time on hair and makeup, and we can't go, and who's gonna be there, and what's so-and-so doing, and somehow our plans fell through. And we were like devastated, because we really wanted to go. We were like waiting by the doorstep. Now, mind you, this is before cell phones. So once you miss somebody, they're gone. And so we were devastated. And I was like, oh, I really wanted to go. And we were bummed out. And my friend said, I'll call my cousin. He can take us. Well, I didn't know her cousin, but if y'all know me, I was going to that party. I had on my dress, and I was ready to dance and have a blast. So it turns out, little did I know, that the person that she was calling, God was sending for me. And that person turned out to be my husband, Sean, who is the love of my life, my best friend, my biggest supporter, my ride or die. I wouldn't even be here right now if it wasn't for him, because I talk myself out of things. So it sounds fun in the beginning, but then I'm like, nah. And then the people pleaser in me is like, maybe I should bail. But no, I can't do that to Rebecca. But she didn't hear that from me. But anyway, Sean, I'm better. That's my person. He's who God sent to me. And so because of that, it didn't start out all flowery and love. We actually became friends first. And we have the same silly sense of humor. So it was lots of laughs, lots of love, sharing our dreams. But I think where it shifted from friendship to love is we both had God in common. And at that younger age, early 20s, I never had boyfriends that talked to me about God. That was never a conversation piece. But with him, it was. And he just was my friend. But long story short, we ended up falling in love and sharing dreams so that we could experience it all. Fast forward again, and we get married, and we both are these young, optimistic young people who want to have thriving careers and be rich one day and live happily ever after. And we look up, and we got 3 babies, 3 beautiful sons, Blake, Kyle, and Brandon. And I'm kind of making my way up the career ladder. And the higher I go, the more demands. Mind you, this is before hybrid work schedules. Take your laptop home. Here's a cell phone. You can work remote. Nobody ever told me I could work remote, period. And so it was challenging. I was very conflicted. So I would wish and I hope and I pray and I wish I could stay home. I want to be a stay-at-home mom. And the wishes turned from wishes to like actual prayer. And my husband was like, well, yeah, I will support you. He encouraged it. But that inner voice kind of was like, no, you can't afford it. And if you step out the workforce now, you won't be, your career will be over. And we prayed on it, and we prayed on it, and God blessed him with a job that made me comfortable enough to feel like I can step away and we rely on one income, which was very big for me because I was very independent. And so anyway, that was a growth opportunity, but another way to experience it all. And so I stayed home with my sons, and motherhood was wonderful, and I loved it. But then there's a honeymoon period where you look up and you're like, oh, I'm a mom. Oh, okay, what about me? And then, you're still evolving as a person. So I have to be honest, I had a moment where I felt very selfish, like, well, what about me? And all I do is, take care of kids. And that inner voice, God speaks to you, and it's like, this is what you asked for. This is what you asked for, and this is a season. You can have it all. And I remember that, and I remember feeling like that, and I got past that stage, but I'd be remiss to make this sound like a flowery story, because I did have moments of, what did I do? And I actually had girlfriends that said, girl, I wouldn't have quit that job. You crazy. It's going to be hard trying to, And so I had to get past that and overcome, but the results were priceless. My husband was happy. He was thriving on his job. My children were happy. We developed habits that they still carry today because I had a regiment for them. I could I shared so many milestones with them. It was a great experience. And again, I'd be remiss if I don't include God in this, because it was him that was always making sure I was okay mentally, physically, and making sure that this was a win-win situation. And so time went on, and there came time, I would say I was probably at home a little over 5 years, and it was time to go back to work, but I wasn't ready to jump in with both feet. So I worked part-time, and I had the privilege of working as a receptionist, part-time receptionist, for the president of Fifth Third Bank in the Eastern Michigan affiliate. What a great job, because all I interacted with were his direct reports, which were all the executives, and guess who got attached to me? The HR, the senior vice president of HR. And that experience was the catalyst for my career, because I had her as a model, and she took me under her wing just as a part-time receptionist. And so, again, I got God's hand all in it, ensuring that I experienced it all. And so, anyway, as we stand today, I actually am an HR leader. I love my job. It's very fulfilling. I'm married now I'm in my 32nd year of marriage in September. And the really cool thing is that I have 3 sons that are all 3 are college graduates. They're thriving in their careers. They still are texting me just like they're those same little boys that I tricked them that Santa Claus was coming. It's so beautiful. So I say all that to say that you can experience it all, just maybe not at the same time. And so I've learned in that space, I learned to balance career and family and get God's assurance that he will give you the desires of your heart. If it was in my heart, he put it there, so he had to deliver on it. And so now, that short-term sacrifice, I actually have a long return on that investment. So I'm staying here so grateful, and in my experiencing it all, I am a daughter, a sister, a friend, a wife, a mother, and the proud grandmother of 2 cats, Obi and Zorro. And by the way, I'm a dog lover, so I don't know how that happened. And I get to experience speaking in front of all of you. Like, that's so cool. And I'm so glad I didn't talk myself out of it, because you all have been lovely. I feel the energy, and this has been a pleasure. So thank you for sharing in this experience. I'll never forget that I experienced it all and you were a part of it. So thank you.